check out ESPN Film's newly released 30 for 30 podcast. From the producers of our award-winning documentary series, this is an amazing collection of sports stories you need to hear to believe. Speaking of amazing, Delta Airlines and the Fly Delta app make your travel experience amazingly easy with real-time bag tracking, e-boarding, and passport scanning during check-in. And don't forget to download 30 for 30 podcast to fill your flight with stories that will keep you coming back for more.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom, boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Del?
I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We give the people what they want.
It's Friday, and the Warriors and the Cavs are still giving the people what they want. They're keeping the competitiveness going.
First and foremost, if you're going to create a word, you got to be able to pronounce it.
I know. I knew you were going to say that the second I
Come
messed
on,
it up.
Man. So that lets you know it's a force right there. Come
no,
on.
it's not a force.
We might have just lost it right there.
It's not a force. It's not a force. I'm going to keep it going. LeBron James went on the Road Trippin' podcast, which is the podcast of Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson, and a fine young lady that works for the Ohio Sports Network. And he had some very interesting things to say. The most interesting had to do with the latest development in LeBron's life. Let's give it a listen.
Channing said you had the Lowski daddy.
Oh, yeah, man.
You went baldy.
I
said it's because you feel, it feels good, doesn't it?
I mean, it doesn't change. I don't know.
No, I'm saying because it feels good because
I've been feeling good.
But listen, but this is not a drastic thing. I've been telling you guys for how long?
You had.
I've been telling you guys for months.
And when I told you it's liberating.
You was like, whatever, yeah.
I told you it's liberating.
I've been telling you guys, so it wasn't like I just woke up and was like, it's time. No, it was just like
You mean the Dubs didn't make you do it, is what you're saying?
No, of course not. That was the case, I would have grew an afro.
You know what pisses me off?
Jalen Rose. That's LeBron James on LeBron James's head. He said that he went bald, but did he go fully bald?
He didn't fully go bald. And while I love Richard and I love Channing, and I'm so happy that they have a podcast and they're doing their thing while as players, that's terrific how you plant the seed before you actually get out of the league if you want to work in this industry.
I feel a butt coming.
They're starting to give me too much off-wax LeBron at times like this, where LeBron James, to me, should be somewhere pounding the iron, feeding the stereotypes like in Rocky, like the Mick is barking in his ear, like Adrian saying, you can win! Like, I want to see that LeBron. I appreciate the fact that he's in the gym, and he's trolling Draymond, and he's on the podcast, but when they lose...
A couple days ago, Monday?
That was, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I want to see LeBron kind of fall back for a minute. You know, now all of a sudden Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye, they want to IG everything. They want to Snapchat everything. I'm getting a chance to see too much off-wax LeBron James.
Interesting. See, I can't get enough off-wax athletes. I love social media. I love the podcasting. I love that we get to hear these unfiltered opinions and thoughts and stupid random stuff like Russell Westbrook singing along to songs in his car. I love all that stuff. You want LeBron James just to go 0 dark 23 all summer long and pretend like he's actually working out all summer instead of hanging out?
It's not that I want to see him go 0 dark. I'm happy that he feels like he has an outlet to vent. And by the way, he's a 4-time MVP, a 3-time champion. By no means should he go put the covers over his head and cry all summer because he lost a basketball game. I'm not saying that at all. But he having too much fun.
He is having so much fun. You can tell he's reached a maturity and like a comfort with himself, and especially like a comfort with this series loss. I feel like he's like, look, we had a worse team. I did my thing, so I'm not that concerned about it. Like, I'm not going to be all crying. It's like, I'm enjoying myself, drinking some wine, talking to my teammates.
Here's the thing. The reason why, other than talent and athletic ability, and I can name 500 million things, guys like LeBron James are 100,000% better than players like me, is because they took the loss a lot harder. He's handling it like I would handle it. Like, we lost to Shaq and Kobe.
Oh, well.
All right, cool.
They're good at basketball.
We lost to Mike and Scotty. All right, cool.
I like the way he's handled it. I also like all the back and forth stuff with LeBron. The competitiveness level is very high between Draymond and LeBron. And I do want to talk to you about this because we've both been watching the 30 for 30 Celtics and Lakers. It is absolutely phenomenal. Big shout out to John Hawk. I love this series and everybody that worked on it. But there was a genuine thing between Magic and Larry for quite some time where they did not like each other. There was a genuine thing between the Celtics and the Lakers that they did not like each other. And people like you, the old school ballers, are always like, oh, these guys are friends off the court. I would never be friends with my enemies. I like that Draymond and LeBron have this sort of friendly back and forth. I like that they are buddies. I like that they control each other on social media. It doesn't bother me that they don't hate each other.
It doesn't bother me either. And I'm glad you acknowledged a distinction. When the Celtics and the Lakers were going back and forth in the 80s, they truly had a disdain for one another. That doesn't take place when you see the Golden State Warriors win the championship and the biggest dap and hug he get is from the opponent, LeBron James.
Yep.
If you're Kevin Durant winning your first championship. Yep. It wasn't like that when the Lakers and the Celtics beat one another. No. And so I understand where you're coming from that perspective. I don't mind if players fraternize to a certain extent when the game isn't taking place. However, when the series is over, they can do whatever they want to do. The bottom line is this. The best team won the championship. LeBron James, when he won it last year, it was his time to shine. His Ultimate Warrior t-shirts, his Halloween cookies, his whatever he wanted to do. He was the best player in the world on the championship team. Now this is the summer for the Warriors. The Cavs are going to have to fall back, watch them have their parade, watch all of their multiple celebrations, talk about how many bottles of champagne they had, talk about all of the ways that we're going to discuss them celebrating them being champions for the second time in 3 years.
During this celebration parade, Draymond Green got on the mic. He said he was going to keep it short. He didn't. He didn't at all. And he did mention LeBron and the super teams. And guess what? LeBron had an opportunity to respond on the Road Trippin' podcast. Let's give a listen to that, Reg.
In 2003, the Lakers combined Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Shaq, and Kobe. In 96, when Jordan was retired, the Rockets joined Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Clyde Drexler, all on the same team. But I don't look at it as I definitely didn't start the super team. Is that what he's trying to say? But I just feel like it's great that on the day that you're celebrating your championship, my likeness and my name is in your head. I love that.
I love what he did at the end there. He's like, I love that while you're celebrating your championship, you're taking time out of your speech to your fans to try to disparage me, the king, LeBron James. I love what he did there, and he is the MCP of the NBA, the most competitive player in the league.
LeBron did not foster the term super teams into the NBA. No. Kevin Durant is the third person to win Finals MVP his first season with a squad. It happened in 1979-80 when Magic Johnson was drafted to the Lakers and they won the championship. And it happened a couple of years later in the early 80s when Moses Malone was added to the Philadelphia 76ers and they also won the championship.
Joining Julius Erving as well.
So what LeBron did, he remixed it. That's all. And here's the distinction that nobody's drawn that I'm just going to put out there to make both situations really equal. The bottom line is this. LeBron James, as well as Kevin Durant, joined an all-NBA performer that had already won the championship before they arrived. That's truly what happened. LeBron James and Kevin Durant joined another all-NBA performer on their team after that player had already won a championship, while that player was still playing at an all-star level like Dwayne Wade was, and they added Chris Bosh. And also, Pat Riley, the ultimate puppet master, added pieces around him. Didn't they have Ray Allen on that team?
Yes, they did.
Okay, that means that though he probably didn't make the all-star game, they still were having 4 players play at an all-star level. Because Ray Allen is going into the Hall of Fame and made probably one of the biggest shots in NBA Finals history from the right corner. Okay?
So what's happening now is the NBA is the players are taking a little bit of power from the organizations. They're kind of making their own decisions. They're forming groups with the people that they like to play with and their friends and making teams strong. You know what I just figured out? The original super team is the Michigan Fab Five. That's right. Jalen Rose is the one who started super teams, not LeBron James.
Juwan Howard.
Jalen Rose. Kevin Durant was talking about the text that he received after something big happened in his life. He won his first NBA championship. And he said that Barack Obama sent him a text complimenting him on his defense. But this is the most surprising text that he got. The most surprising text he got was his girlfriend from the senior year of high school, which he appreciated. I love that his senior year of high school girlfriend, first of all, still has his phone number, and second of all, reached out when she watched him win a championship. I love it so much. When was the last time you spoke to your senior year girlfriend from high school?
I like this a lot. I don't have the same number that I had in high school. That's number one. Number two, so for KD, that would mean approximately 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which lends me to this question to all of our listeners. I don't know if KD's in a committed relationship, but it made me think about this question. If you keep the same number and your exes or people from your past are still texting you and you're currently in a relationship, is that cheating?
No. It's emotionally unfaithful if you carry on a text conversation. But when you just won MVP of the NBA Finals on ABC, the highest rated game in the history of ABC and the NBA, then I think it's okay if people reach out from your past. And I want to say this for everyone listening is let's not act like you and your significant other don't go to the old Google machine every once in a while, look up some of those exes. We all know that everybody does that. No matter how committed you think that your significant other is, if you really truly looked at their internet history in the past year, they're Googling some high school exes. They are. It's happening. I know it is. It's fine, Joey. Go ahead and do it. I don't care. We have more celebration updates. Draymond and KD and other Warriors flew a private plane to Las Vegas for the weekend. Are you concerned about them turning up in Vegas all weekend?
I am not. Enjoy. They won the championship. They set a goal. They achieved it. They're going to handle themselves respectfully and responsibly like adults. You're going to see footage on IG and on Snapchat and all of that stuff for them enjoying themselves, and rightfully so. I have no problem with it. My only problem is why are we not there? Why are we doing this show? Why are we not there?
Steph Curry had a tattoo party at his house for his entire family. He got a new tattoo. His wife got a new tattoo. His brother Seth got a new tattoo. And his father Dell got a new tattoo. Which had me thinking, Jalen Rose, 0 to 100, what are the chances that you get another tattoo in the rest of your life?
95%.
Really? Interesting.
Once you start getting tattoos, you don't get just one. That's just how it works.
Wow. I thought that number would be the opposite. I thought you would say, I'm done with tattoos now. Those are all relics of my past. So you've got tattoos in your future. If you had to get a tattoo right now, what would it be? Please say Molly's name.
That's very nice.
Now you have to. You want me to move on, don't you? Steph Curry finally spoke on it. He said that he probably wouldn't go to the White House. Do you think they will receive an invite now that he's been on wax saying that to a reporter?
I'm hearing something in my ear. Tom Brokaw's on the phone. We have some broken news.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
I love that Tom Brokaw's on the phone. Tom Brokaw's on the phone. We have some broken news. Of course, we're not getting an invite.
Let me get this right. Steph Curry said that he might not go to the White House?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yep. And then Andre Iguodala said, we're going to do whatever our leader, Steph Curry's going to do. That really made me think, he's really putting this on Steph. It's like, Andre Iguodala, you're the veteran. You're the leader. I think you are probably the most experienced player on the team. Maybe Sean Livingston has a couple more years on you. But, come on now.
No, he falling back, playing his role, allowing Steph Curry
to take
the lead on this one because he knows what he's going to say.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's going to say. I cannot get over the fact that Kevin Durant's high school girlfriend texted him. I mean, what could she possibly have said? Dude, and here's another thing, Kevin Durant, if you still have your high school girlfriend programmed into your phone, that means you're hanging on. Because that was 12 years ago. Like, you are definitely hanging on. Like, you could have cleaned out the contacts by then. Like, if it does come up as her name, then you've definitely been holding on to that one.
And I disagree with you. Joey ain't Googling or texting no exes.
No, because we've been together so long. Let's listen to LeBron James speak about who can't score on him in the post.
There's only 3 people in this world that can score on me in the post. Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. Who else was it?
Jesus.
It's 2. And Jesus Christ.
I got to give it to LeBron that he would definitely shut down JC in the post. JC has a perimeter-based game. He's thin. You know what I mean? There's no way that JC would be able to post up LeBron. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he even put that out there.
I disagree. I was just watching the NBA Finals and Kevin Durant didn't have any problems on that post.
I really always imagined that Jesus Christ would have a perimeter-based game.
But here's what I was alluding to earlier. I like this flamboyant, feeling myself LeBron James.
Me too.
I just got to get used to it 3 days after I just saw him get a gentleman's sweep in the finals. I just got to get used to this.
He is so comfortable with this sweep. I mean, with this gentleman's sweep. He is so comfy. He's like, look, I got a triple-double. I got triple-double in the finals. Everyone who watched saw what I did and the team that I was up against. And they saw my role players not show up. Theirs show up. I'm good with this. I love this.
But the whole post-up thing isn't true. By the way, I'm pretty sure some footage out there of me posting up LeBron James.
Ooh. I'm not so sure. Let's be honest. We'll see if the production staff can pull something up.
I was there, however, when LeBron got his career high.
You are a magnet for career highs. You are a magnet for career highs. If you're a 2 or a 3 in the league and you knew you were playing Jalen, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get some rest the night before that one. I can get 40 on this one. How many players have had their career high against you?
I'm not sure.
At least 100. At least 100. 0 to 100. How many players have scored their career high against you?
78.
81 is the answer, actually.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Jalen Rose, Monday night at 8 p.m. on ESPN2, there will be a special Jalen and Jacoby NBA draft show.
We working at night? That's past my curfew.
We're working at night. We'll be on ESPN2. We're going to have an hour-long show with a couple special guests. We're very excited about it. Make sure you set your DVRs for 8 p.m. ESPN2 on Monday for our draft special. As we get prepared for that, we're going to have to do research for that one. Jalen, we got to actually prepare for that show. We got to actually prepare for that one.
Not going to be able to do it.
There are some interesting developments in the NBA draft and around it. Number one, Lonzo Ball is still considering talking to teams who have lottery picks below the Lakers, a source close to the former UCLA Bruins star told ESPN.
A lot of these stories that's going to come out between now and the draft make me just want to take 2 of my fingers, stick them down my throat, and make myself Earl.
What are you talking about? Why?
This isn't news. Like, seriously, a player that's going to go in the lottery is going to actually listen to and or talk to other teams? What? Is that at the bottom of the ticker?
Nope. Another thing at the bottom of the ticker is the Lakers are discussing trading out of the number 2 slot in the draft. Could you see the Hall of Fame mogul trading himself out of the number 2 spot?
Let me see. Y'all want to give me Kyrie for the number 2 pick? Sure. I'll do that.
I don't think that's what's on the table.
Oh, okay. No, y'all want to give me Kawhi? Okay. Y'all want to give me Anthony Davis? Cool. Here's the thing. It's every team's job to do diligence. That's what's happening. Each team is fielding phone calls about players that are going to be drafted. Each team is fielding phone calls about players on their roster, except the 3 with no trade clauses in LeBron James, Dirk, and Carmelo, because everybody's open game at this point of the year. And the league is almost uniquely turned upside down because we've had our first trilogy in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
The Cleveland Cavaliers, if they stand pat, are clearly the favorite to win the East. The Golden State Warriors are clearly the favorite to win it all. Yet the number 1 seeded Boston Celtics in the East also have the number 1 pick this year, possibly have the opportunity to get it next year. And the team that was beating the Golden State Warriors by 20 before their best player, Kawhi Leonard, got hurt, is still going to be in the league, and don't be surprised if they win 60-plus games. Those are the teams that's going to show up next year to say, if we don't make it, 3 of those, well, the Cavs, the Warriors, and the Spurs are the only 3 teams in the league next year that's going to say, if we don't win a championship, the season can be considered not achieving our goals. Everybody else can't say the same thing.
So we differ on some things, like the name Obi-Wan Jacoby. We just have very differing opinions on that. We also differ on the act, the spectacle that is LeVar Ball. I kind of feel like as sports media outlets, we have enabled this man, and we have sort of created something that we can just talk about for the news cycle, for eyeballs, for eardrums. We just created this character and allowed him to sort of feed on us to become bigger and bigger and more powerful and more profitable. However, Lonzo Ball did something today. He put up a piece on Players Tribune celebrating his father. I am very vocal anti-LeVar Ball. When I read this piece, it did change my stance a lot. It was very heartfelt about the type of father that he is and how he has raised his children in the ways that he has sort of molded them into the athletes and the men that they are. Here are some quotes. Lonzo on his dad. Quote, "You haven't had the easiest life. Everything you've got, you've had to work for. And you've spent your entire adult life instilling that work ethic into me and my brothers to make sure that we never have to face the same challenges that you did. I can't think of anything else that you could ask for from a dad." What does that passage mean to you, Jalen?
It is the exact reason why when people like you get upset about his antics, you turn around and be the same people that stick cameras and or microphones in his face. So because of that, he's figured out how to capitalize on it. And let me tell you what else he's done. He's now opened the door for other opportunities for other people. Let me give you an example. If I'm Draymond Green's mom, I want a car deal based on some of the things that I've tweeted. If I'm Kevin Durant's mom, I could probably get a car deal now. So now you start to look at the game different when a situation like this takes place. Same thing with the shoes. He's not going to be the first person to come along and say, I want to have my own trademark shoe for my son, or the player doing it for themselves. He's just owning it. All of the other stuff, I'm better than Michael Jordan, Zoe's better than Steph Curry. Let me tell you guys what he's doing. There's a gentleman named Bundini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's hype man. And if you look at the Ball sons, they don't seem to have those outgoing personalities that equal his. So to me, he's just serving as their hype men, their bodyguard, their security. And he's kicking down the door vocally. Now, if Zoe gets into the league and he balls, everything's going to speak for itself. And to everybody saying, oh, man, he turned down the opportunity to get a shoe deal. You know he can always get a shoe deal, right?
Yeah, some tells me that if he plays well in the NBA, that the shoe companies will still be willing to take his phone call.
He could always get a shoe deal after the first year, after the 8th year. Guess what you've never seen in an NBA game? A player out there barefoot.
with no shoes on. Yeah, exactly. No. Does every player in the NBA get a shoe deal? Like, are even role players, is Willie Hernan Gomez getting paid to wear a certain pair of shoes?
No. Here's what happens, however, though. The elite level players get a shoe deal not only for product, for money, Obviously, you see the commercials, you see the endorsements, you see the appearances. And then the, I guess, mid-level or below players, they basically give you product. So in other words, we'll allow you to wear our shoes and our product, and we'll give you X amount of allotment. But no cash. We keep you good here. It's like Goldie and the Mac. We keep you looking good and pretty, but no doubt.
I love that Dellavedova has his own shoe deal. That always makes me happy. Like somewhere in the world, like someone's wearing Matthew Dellavedova's signature sneakers right now.
That's why I'm like, don't make a big deal off of Zoe trying to do his thing.
You know Marvin from Perth, who calls the show every day, is definitely wearing Dellavedovas when he calls. Here's another passage from the Players Tribune piece written by Lonzo Ball. To his father. Quote, "The confidence that you have in me makes me feel so strong. It's helped me to never back down from a challenge and to stay true to myself. I'm going to be taking this next step to the NBA knowing that I'm ready. And no matter what's thrown at me, I know you're always going to have my back."
I love it. I love that support. I love that appreciation, that kinship, that father-son tough love that seems to take place. However, a level of achievement that they're able to share together. And I appreciate the fact that he's able to not only articulate it in the Players Tribune, make light of it in the Foot Locker commercial. Again, it all comes back to this one thing. We don't know who the best player in this draft is going to be. But we do know this. Between now and when the basketball season starts, the most famous player is Lonzo Ball.
That's a good point. Jalen Rose.
What up, Del?
We have a statue update that I am sure you will be supporting. It feels like only Jalen Jacoby on ESPN2 and ESPN Radio are curious about the Harriet Tubman $20 bill and the just the process. I know it's not supposed to come out for a couple of years, but I haven't seen any mock-ups. I haven't seen any news about it, no updates. Just seems like that whole project is on the back burner for right now. Can't really figure out why. But we do have some statue news. The state of Maryland is moving closer to having a statue of abolitionist Harriet Tubman built for display in the United States Capitol. Jalen Rose, as the senior statue analyst, not just at ESPN, but across the globe, how do you feel about the potential of a Harriet Tubman statue in the nation's capital?
Are you ready for this? And I'm not the hyperbole kind of guy. This is the greatest statue that I've heard about and will be the most fabulous statue that exists.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the world's senior statue analyst now saying that this statue of Harriet Tubman in the nation's capital will be the greatest statue of all time. I'm speechless. I'm shocked. I'm happy to share this moment with our listeners. I just hope they do a good job with the statue because it can't look like Magic's. Magic's statue at Michigan State is just terrible. You need to do Harriet Tubman right. Can't do that Ronaldo face with Harriet Tubman.
And back in the day, I remember watching this on TV. I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill. Now they need to go over to the nation's capital and get those Harriet Tubman 20s in process. In circulation. What's going on? Why is it taking so long?
Jalen. ESPN is reporting that the Celtics and the Sixers are having serious talks about trading the first pick.
Jahlil Okafor?
Zach Lowe is reporting this information.
Get low.
How much of this is real? Like the Lonzo Ball talking to people, the Lakers might trade the pick, the Celtics might trade the pick. How much of this is real and how much of this is a smoke screen just to kind of get people talking about the draft and moves they might make to leverage another deal that might happen?
There are 30 NBA teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of them are playing meaningful basketball right now?
Zero are.
What do you guys think the teams are doing every day? There are people that get paid 6 and 7 figures and $64 million if you're Phil Jackson. to actually make decisions on franchises. You have ownership, you have presidents, you have GMs, you have advisors, you have coaches. That's all they're doing, is talking to people all day. That's it. So, of course, the Sixers and the Celtics are talking. Of course, the Lakers are working out multiple people. What else they supposed to do? Of course, they worked out Josh Jackson twice. What else they supposed to do?
And now Woj is reporting that the Sixers are waiting for the medical reports of Markelle Fultz before deciding on whether or not they want to make a move. What? Is this serious, Jalen?
The Sixers don't control their own destiny. The Celtics do.
What are they looking for in the medical report?
Injury history. See if there's something that may become a red flag from taking the player so high. This is not unique to Markelle Fultz. There's not like, oh, now all of a sudden they're all in his business. Or if you're going to pay somebody millions of dollars to play basketball, you probably should look at their medical report. It's not pickup ball.
When was the last time you went to a doctor for a checkup, Jalen Rose?
Too long.
No, seriously.
Too long.
Like, legit, when was the last time you went to the doctor to say, I just want to get a checkup? Honestly, when was it?
4 years ago.
No way. It was definitely longer than 4 years ago.
I went when I was 40.
Really? I'm turning 40 next year. Is there anything you need to tell me? Do I need to go to the doctor?
You need to start going every year for the rest of your life. Don't follow what I did.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Wait a second. No. I prefer leaders by example. I have a very serious question for you, sir. Are you ready? Amazon bought Whole Foods for $13 billion. There's a Whole Foods right by your home. Is Whole Foods cultural?
Whole Foods is not cultural.
Okay, Whole Foods is not cultural. Please explain.
It's for everyone.
Whole Foods is for everybody.
And here's the thing I appreciate about Whole Foods. One-stop shopping.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that you can say about that. You're like, oh, Whole Foods is great. One-stop shopping. Well, you know what everyone else in the world who isn't rich says about Whole Foods? This costs too much money. Like, I've never been to Whole Foods and gone to the register and be like, oh, that was less than I expected. Oh, it's only $99. Nope. I'm like, wait a second. $250 of what? What?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Probably besides an adult entertainment establishment, Whole Foods is the one place you can go and get everything you need.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. One thing I know that you're excited for is the Tupac biopic, All Eyes on Me.
Come with me.
I know you're excited for this.
Run, quick, see.
You're going to stay awake for the whole movie. You're going to go see it twice in the theater. You're going to get 2 popcorns. I know how excited you are for this.
Stay awake. I'm going to see it today and tomorrow.
Jada Pinkett Smith was not happy with it. She's saying that the depiction of her and Tupac's relationship is fictional. A lot of things didn't happen in real life the way that they were portrayed in the film, and she's upset about it. Which leads to the question, is it okay to sort of like fictionalize some stuff that happened in someone's life in a biopic to make it a better story?
No. The answer is no. But it almost goes back to the KD conversation where we were talking about his ex from 12 years ago still hitting him on the text.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Because she's in a new relationship now. She's happily married to Will Smith. They have a beautiful family. They're one of my favorite power couples. And you know we celebrate them on this show. But one thing people don't like to do is live in the past. And so when you start to talk about my relationship with somebody that's not the person I'm in a relationship with right now, it's never a good look, regardless of what's being said. Because what does Will Smith do for a living?
He's an entertainer.
So you think he's seen it?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely seen it.
Okay, so what do you think, if she's unhappy with it, what do you think he's going to feel about it?
They definitely had a conversation after he watched it. And that's why she tweeted. That's why she tweeted against it. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not. Oh yeah, this film is wrong. This is not how it went down." When in her heart of hearts, you know she still rides for Tupac.
I remember on September 19th, you told me you was gonna be at.
Yeah, she definitely still rides for Tupac. When she goes to sleep at night, she's being really honest with herself. There's a little piece of her heart that rides for Tupac Shakur.
But that's my point exactly. When you're in a new relationship, you got to let the past go. It is cheating to be in contact with somebody else from your past. And to take it a step further, if you know the person in a relationship and you still trying to contact them, I got a name for you.
Don't get fired.
Derek Fisher.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
If you call 98580 Jalen, leave us a voicemail. We'll listen to them and play them on the show, just like this. Better not be Marvin from Perth.
Yo, what up, though? It's Marcus calling from the Yay area. I got a question for Jalen. Over or under 4 teams have contacted you to be the GM or consultant of a NBA basketball team. Keep giving the people what they want. Shout out, Reg.
Thank you for the shout. Appreciate the support. The over is under.
What? Is the ceiling the roof? What?
The under is under.
Do you have any idea how this works, Jalen? Wait, the over is... You just broke my mind. The over is under, the ceiling is the roof, and the under is under. Copy on it. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hi, this is Randy from L.A. I got a question about statues for you. What's more important, how cool the statue looks or where it's positioned? Thanks, guys.
Great question.
First off, the number one thing about a statue, it has to be outdoors.
That's a great point. So position is important. But, like, would you rather have a okay statue in a very prominent place, or would you rather have an excellent statue in a less prominent place?
When you're playing Monopoly, you learn what prime real estate is. So, do you want your statue on Boardwalk or on Baltic?
Well, I'm going to go the other way here. I want my statue to look good. In today's day and age, when basically everyone is holding a camera and taking photos of things and sharing them to their friends and peers all the time, I would prefer an excellent looking statue in a less prominent place because it will be seen and appreciated on the internet via camera phones. I don't want a wax statue. When they make the Jalen Jacoby statue in Bristol, Connecticut in the year 2050 and we're still on the air at 2 in the morning, I want A, to be almost as tall as you as I am in real life, and B, to be a little bit slimmer than I am in real life, and C, to look like my actual self.
I already found a place for our statue. It could be in front of Building 4.
Building 4, that's where all the executives are. They don't want us there. They don't want to look at us every day. They're going to put us like off campus, like one of those Building 13s. You have to like take a shuttle to get to the cafeteria. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hi, Jalen. Hi, Jacoby. This is Sabrina from Sacramento, and I have a question. How do you solve a sports rivalry in a household? My boyfriend and I have a pretty deep basketball rivalry, Lakers-Kings. Just want to know, how do you best solve that? Keep getting them texts. Shout out to Reggie. Bye.
Well, I have something on this. It's fun to have a little bit of rivalry with your significant other, especially with something as frivolous as sports. That's always nice. But you're going to find yourself, when you have children, it's going to be more complicated. Because you're going to get that baby Kobe jersey, and then you're going to have to come back with the baby Vlade jersey or whatever. It's like that is when it's going to get really complicated. So what I would suggest is that you do not try to solve this, that you embrace it and enjoy it. Your thoughts, Mr. Rose?
It's an opportunity to come up with some really fun and unique bets. One of the things about having a partner, being in a relationship, having friends, family, or whatnot, and enjoying sports is doing things you wouldn't normally do and spending quality time laughing, enjoying, appreciating one another's time and energy, and also a sporting event. This is why our country invests so much in entertainment, and athletes get paid so much more than people who I feel like do life-changing type work on a daily basis, like teachers and police and firemen. And so because of that, enjoy it, embrace it, and come up with some fun bets. Like your team wins, then you got to get on the barbecue grill and you got to hook it up for everybody else. If your team loses, then you got to give the 30-minute foot massage. Those type of things. Kind of like Jacoby was doing when Joey was pregnant, giving her foot massages every day.
30 minutes? 30 minutes? 30 seconds. Let's listen to another voicemail.
That's why it's a bet.
Yo, I'm hella hot. First of all, this is Jacob from the ATL, man. Y'all named all the Wu-Tang members. Didn't even name Old Dirty Bastard or Method Man. Come on, man. You killing me. You got to give the people what they want, dog. Shout out to A.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love. I'm pretty sure when I get to the A, I'll see you at the Waffle House and we'll talk about this off wax.
Shout out.
For David Jacoby, first off, I asked him to name the Wu-Tang members. I didn't name anything.
No, I knew you were going to distance yourself from this one. I knew you were going to distance yourself. I thought sometimes we're a partnership, we're a brotherhood, we're all a family, and sometimes it's every man for themselves.
Not when I look over your left shoulder, I see a Wu pillow that you will stand for and pledge allegiance to.
Yep.
I see 3 old DB pictures hanging on your wall right behind you. Over your right shoulder, Method Man is up there with Redman. Of 10 of your pictures, 4 of them are Wu-Tang Clan related.
I support the Wu-Tang Clan.
And that's why I asked you to name the group. Name the individuals in the group. And for everybody calling the show shouting out Reg was Googling trying to figure out who the other members was, and he didn't even tell you left those 2 off.
So here's the thing. Before I said this, if you go back to the tape, I said we don't normally like to put ourselves on the spot like this.
No, you said I don't like when you ask follow-up questions.
No, here's another thing. I got hit in the head with a basketball about a month ago. Okay? I'm going to be saying that for the next 7 years.
I saw you ball.
I got hit in the head with a basketball about a month ago.
Your motor skills are fine.
That's what happened.
You was turning over both shoulders. Your post game was tight.
See, let me just tell you something.
For 3.
Like, this is the staff that we have. It's like sometimes we're a brotherhood. Sometimes we just can't wait to push each other underneath the speeding bus. Now I've got Reg in my ear saying we can go back to the tape, and then on screen I've got our Bristol producer John Lawrence writing, "I even said ODB in your ear." You guys are so quick to throw me under the bus. I'm going to write some strongly worded emails to some high-powered executives at this company, and guess what they're going to be about? Me, not the staff. Let's listen to another voicemail. I'm upset.
What up, Jalen and Jacoby? It's Marvin from Perth, Australia. What up, Reggie? What up, Daniel? Look, I'd just like to thank you guys for doing what you guys do. I've been listening to the podcast for a long time now. I listen to it every day at work. I do own my own business, though, so I don't know whether that's a soft move or a boss move. Since we haven't done this in a long time, Jalen, could you please explain 2 movie plot lines? The first one is Soul Plane, and the second one is Crocodile Dundee. Shout out.
Marvin's got to be getting paid. Now he's dropping plugs in there. It's like Marvin. What's happening with Marvin? How does Marvin get through every single time? There are fans of this show that have been calling in multiple times. I've had friends call in. They can't get on the show. You know, it's like we have people that call in all the time and spend their time and energy just trying to get on Jalen Jacoby on ESPN Radio. Marvin's on every single day. Jalen, do you want to explain some movie plots?
Sure.
Brace yourself. Jalen Rose is about to explain a movie plot.
Jalen, explain the plot to Crocodile Dundee.
So first off, it's like I can already see it.
Yep. You close your eyes, you can just visualize it, right?
I can just visual it. I already see the hat.
Oh, I visual it too.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
With the tassel that go underneath the neck.
Tassels, yep.
I already see Clint Eastwood.
Oh, I visual Clint Eastwood right now.
Is that who it is? Is it Clint Eastwood?
It's Clint Eastwood.
And all he wants to do, just like you in the kangaroo apocalypse, He just want to save the world from crocodiles.
He just wants to save the world from crocodiles. Clint Eastwood is just doing his part, trying to save the world from crocodiles.
So
what
all
does
he's
he
gonna
do?
All he's gonna do is hover around the water the entire time.
Just hover above the water magically, and then
try to do whatever he can to dismantle or disable every crocodile that he comes across.
How does he do that, Jalen?
With spears.
Spears. Good. Jalen Rose, Clint Eastwood, hovering above the water magically, carrying multiple spears, dismantling crocodiles, is exactly the plot to Crocodile Dundee. Jalen Rose, the Major League Baseball is having a promotion where just for one weekend they're going to adopt nicknames on the back of your jersey. Remember like the NBA did this from one couple years ago? So here's my question. What would the back of your jersey say if you were in the NBA now and you could put anything you wanted on there?
The coldest nickname on the back of a jersey was "He Hate Me."
That's what you're going with. He hate me. I never understood that. Can you explain that one? Take me behind the curtain on that one. It's just really bad grammar.
Easy one.
It's just really bad grammar. I don't understand he hate me.
No, it's not. That's exactly how we say that term. That's how we use the term. If somebody you feel like is not giving you the benefit of the doubt, he hating on me. He hate me. So here's the other thing, though. If I had a nickname on the back of my jersey, what would it be? What sport?
Basketball, man.
Don't act like that.
Yeah, no, you're not playing. I've seen you play other sports.
I mean, what do you mean?
I've seen you bowl, dude. You're a one-sport athlete.
Cross country 4 years in high school.
You're a one-sport athlete, Jalen.
You know what I mean? Played pick 'em up, mess 'em up in football my entire life. Played fast pitch tennis ball.
I love my entire life. Like you were playing street football last weekend.
If I had a nickname on the back of my jersey, it would be The Natural.
It would say Jalen. It would say Jalen. That's what it would say.
Here's the thing. I don't need a nickname when I got a household name. You're right.
There you go.
Shout out.
One thing that doesn't get enough coverage is this. Dennis Rodman is right now in North Korea. Like, Dennis Rodman is in North Korea meeting with officials of North Korea. This is what he is up to. He met the sports minister and gave him a gift basket of various gifts. Let me tell you what's in this gift basket. I cannot tell if this is all real. It's a plastic bag. One thing he gave him is The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, a ghostwritten book by Donald Trump. Another thing is a copy of Where's Waldo. Another thing is 2 autographed jerseys, but not like Bulls jerseys. They're just blank T-shirts that say 91 on them. And then a puzzle of a mermaid and some fancy bath soaps. That's what Dennis Rodman is doing right now in North Korea. Why is this happening in real life on this planet?
I'm just glad that we're able to use a Hall of Fame athlete to talk about a political topic that's literally head-scratching to me as well. That is the individual that our country has chosen to represent our best interests in international relations.
I don't know if our country chose Dennis Rodman to represent our best interests. It's like sponsored by Potcoin, which is like basically like Bitcoin for medicinal. This is a sham. It's basically a sponsored trip that's a sham. And if you're gonna give a present to a luminary from another country, like, you gotta do better than a mermaid puzzle and a Where's Waldo.
I thought you were gonna say something about the book.
Oh, The Art of the Deal book? No, I'm not going to talk about that. Jalen Rose, here's what Paul George had to say when he saw some reporters at a softball
I'm under contract. Why don't y'all leave me alone?
I'm under contract as a Pacer. That's all that needs to really be known. I'm here. I'm a Pacer. Again, what I've been dealing with is stories. You guys talking or teams talking. I'm a Pacer. There's no way around that. This is my team, my group, and this is where I am at.
No new news. He's under contract to play basketball for the Indiana Pacers. If he's going to go to a team, for example, like the Lakers, they shouldn't mortgage current assets a la New York Knicks when they acquire Carmelo Anthony, and then all of a sudden you get the player and you can't really build around them. If he's going to leave as a free agent, then he's going to have the freedom to choose to go where he wants to go. But as of next year, he's contractually obligated to play basketball for the Indiana Pacers.
Could you see him playing for another team on like a 6-month playoff run rental next year?
I cannot. Because if I'm the Indiana Pacers, I just let it play out. I got an extremely talented player that I drafted, developed, and nurtured. Maybe he can make All NBA next year, which means possibly up to $70 million that I can pay him more over a 5-year deal versus going to a new team and getting a 4-year deal. Also, the extra years I just mentioned could be worth about $30 or $40 million to said player. And lastly, sign and trade. If you want to leave, we want to get something in return. So I don't see anything happening in the near future.
The NBA announced today that Reggie Bullock of the Detroit Pistons and Monte Ellis of the Indiana Pacers have each been suspended without pay for 5 games for violating the terms of the NBA NBPA anti-drug program. Their suspensions will begin with the next NBA regular season game that they are eligible and physically able to play. So this 5-game suspension is essentially a third positive for medicinal from the league.
He's a habitual line stepper.
After 2 positives from the league, and you know this is coming down, how do you get caught for a third time?
It works like this.
How's it work, Jalen Rose?
There's habits, and then when they become so much so that they interfere with your livelihood, that's when you have to question if you're bordering on being an addict. And so after the first couple, to your point, it's like, I'm not going to get suspended 5 games. I got too much to lose here. I'm a public figure, my reputation, 5 games of pay. If you're in the other position, it's like, hey, where those niacin at? I could beat the test.
What?
I got something that I could take that's going to make sure that I pass. And so in the case of these gentlemen, I'm pretty sure they're going to take their punishment as it comes and hope to move forward after it. But I'm not going to treat it like it's life or death. Here's why. Only the NFL and the NBA punish players for smoking marijuana. They don't do it in hockey. They don't do it in baseball. They don't do it in tennis. They don't do it in golf. How about this? They don't even do it in NASCAR. And they're driving vehicles 200 miles an hour.
Chris Paul is not just going to be meeting with the Spurs and the Clippers. He's also added the Rockets and the Nuggets to the list of teams that he'll be discussing his free agency with. What does that news tell you?
The news tells me that he's going to meet with the Rockets and Nuggets because he really want to meet with the Lakers.
That's interesting. How is that tied together? Why wouldn't he just meet with the Lakers if he wanted to meet with the Lakers?
Chris Paul ain't leaving Los Angeles to play basketball.
You're so sure about this, Jalen.
Rewind the tape. Chris Paul is not leaving Los Angeles to play basketball.
Do you think Chris Paul to the Lakers could finally happen after David Stern vetoed that trade many years ago?
So, we've talked openly about one said number 23 possibly heading west to play basketball when his contract expires. You know they're on the text, right?
They're also on the banana boat.
You know they're godfather of each other's kids, right?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And so, based on that, you never know. Maybe Chris Paul may choose to be the lead domino that leads to LeBron James actually living in his $20 million Brentwood house and driving to the Staples Center to play basketball.
You never know.
But here's what's not going to happen. It ain't going to take place in the Clippers uniform.
We have a simple motto on this show. That motto is... Part of giving the people they want is opening up our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed and asking what they want, and going to our subreddit, reddit.com/r/Jalen Jacoby, getting feedback there as well.
Shout out.
All right. First question that we have. Jacoby, you have mentioned before that you do not like tomatoes. How far does this dislike go? Do you like tomato sauce, pizza, spaghetti? What about salsa? To casually say you dislike tomatoes but not expand on what that really means leaves us all hanging. And as a person, I need to know what extent this goes. That is from Codasaur on Reddit. Here's the thing. I do not like tomatoes. However, I love tomato juice. I love tomato soup. I love micheladas. I love ketchup. I love tomato sauce. I love everything except for the actual experience of eating a tomato, except in a Capri salad when it comes with a nice slice of mozzarella cheese. So my dislike for tomatoes is basically tomato slices in salads and sandwiches.
Growing up, my grandmother used to make the bomb fried green potato. My grandmother used to make the bomb fried green tomatoes.
Interesting. Next, we have this. This is for you, Jalen. This comes from Cameron. Who's the better doctor, Doctor Strange or Doctor Who? And can Jalen explain either characters?
I know Dr. J.
Shout out.
Great job.
Dr. Strange, weird cat.
He is weird.
Not going to him for any medical issues.
No medical issues.
No.
No.
Doctor Who, I need more research.
You know what? I can't lie. This is not cultural. I have no idea who Doctor Strange and Doctor Who are either. Absolutely no idea. I know nothing about Doctor Strange or Doctor Who.
I know Dr. Dre.
I know Dr. J and Dr. Dre.
Shout out.
Next is from Daniel. Soft move or boss move? Liking your own social media posts. Great question.
Soft move.
That's a soft move. You can't do that. You just want
Soft
up the likes.
move.
You're trying to get those numbers. No way. You cannot like your own. You cannot like your own social media posts. That just cannot happen. 0 to 100. Jerry West's move to the Clippers will impact LeBron and his LA move. That's from Reddit. DJ Holiday.
0 to 100, 5.
This is another great question from DJ Holiday on Reddit. Living in Austin, tacos are life, especially breakfast tacos. What are your thoughts on breakfast tacos? What's your favorite? Mine is smoked brisket and eggs. I have an excellent breakfast taco place in my neighborhood called Home State. It is a Texas-themed. Breakfast tacos are very popular in Texas. My favorite, it has chorizo in it. It's chorizo, eggs, and cheese. I also like the vegetarian version. I guess it's not vegetarian. Eggs and beans and cheese. Jalen Rose, are you down with breakfast tacos?
I know who Diana Taurasi is. She's about to be the all-time leading scorer in the WNBA.
I love Diana Taurasi. When she was in the Grantland Basketball Hour, I was like, I just want her to be around all the time.
No question. Big shout.
Shout out.
Next question that we have is about Amari Stoudemire, so I'm not going to answer it. The next question that we have is from Uncle Mar.
Shout out.
After making a Tupac movie, will they make a Jay-Z movie while he's still alive? Well, we had a 50 Cent movie. We had an Eminem movie. It's not so crazy that they would make a Jay-Z movie. Could you see that happening?
All I know is this. Jay-Z, in his freestyle with Big L, talked about being with somebody that was an R&B singer.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have ever thought he'd end up marrying Beyonce? I love this country and power couples.
I have heard rumors and reports and rumblings that the twins are either already here or very soon on the way. And I'm so excited about that. Again, I'm not reporting anything. I know nothing. I am smart enough to know that, people on the internet say whatever they want to say. And, my friend works at this hospital and Beyonce's there. But I'm very excited and saddened to have Jay-Z and Beyonce join me and my wife as twin parents. I feel like they're on my corner. Ryan wants to know, what's the best case scenario for teams like the Magic and the Brooklyn Nets that don't have a superstar?
Be in the lottery next year.
That's a great point. Draft a superstar would probably be the answer to that. Brooklyn doesn't have any picks.
Draft one.
Brooklyn doesn't have picks until 2030. Alex has a good question. Now that it's the offseason, is it almost time for football topics to come back?
As long as they're not forced.
The big one today was Jalen Ramsey is having core muscle surgery. It's like, okay, Look, his name's Jalen, so I'm sort of interested. But this is, June 16th, and he's having core muscle surgery. That doesn't really change things that much for me in the football landscape.
Here's the true force football topics. List.
Yeah. Lists are always a force no matter what. As someone who's worked in sports media my entire life, now this time of year,
J.J. Watt is upset that he's ranked number 58.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you think he's ranked too high or too low?
Yeah. Good question here from Lanny. Would you rather start a franchise with Kevin Durant or Tim Duncan? We're assuming they're both in their prime. It's
Tim Duncan.
It's KD all day. You know it's KD. What? It is KD. That is the wrong answer.
No, I saw one gentleman be an anchor for a franchise 20 straight years, and they made the playoffs each year, had a winning record on the road each year, was amongst the best in defense every year, played with David Robinson, a Hall of Famer, became a Hall of Famer, nurtured future Hall of Famers in Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and superstar now Kawhi Leonard, all with the same coach, and won 5 championships. I'm going with stability here. My answer, I didn't stutter. Tim Duncan.
I'm going with the guy that's 7 feet tall, can dribble and shoot and do everything on a basketball court that you want him to.
What makes you think Tim Duncan can't shoot?
He can't dribble. You ever seen Tim Duncan cross somebody 3 times and then pull up for 3? You ever see that happen? No? Oh, okay. This is a great question from Reddit. I can't see who sent it, so I apologize. They also shout out my kids. Yo, Jalen, if Louisville vacates the 2013 national title, should Michigan get it? If so, should Michigan accept it? And they said, shout out Quincy, Chloe, and Margot. Shout out. Great question.
Absolutely, yes. If Usain Bolt, for example, and his relay team gets caught because one of the players were taking a substance they shouldn't have been taking, do I want my gold medal? Sure I do.
Another question from Reddit is from Easy. Who are your top 5 podcast hosts of all time? Think about it. Jalen, and Jalen. Here's my top 5 podcast hosts of all time. Podfather. Shout out. Another question from Twitter. It is for Jalen. Are you aware of the hip-hop group Jedi Mind Tricks?
I am not. Nope. But I heard of Obi-Wan Jacoby.
Yeah! Just embrace it, Jalen. You love Obi-Wan Jacoby. Embrace it. Admit it. You're starting to warm up to Obi-Wan Jacoby.
I just need to hear some bars.
If I had to stop saying either Obi-Wan Jacoby or competitiveness, which one would you have?
You just answered your own question. You can't even spit competitiveness out.
I can't say it.
You can't even say it yourself.
How you
going to create a word for the lexicon that you can't even say?
I'm going to get it in the lexicon. I'm going to force it. I'm going to keep forcing it and keep reaching for it.
Such a force. You can't even say it.
I can say it. Competitiveness. There, I said it. Congratulations to you. You've made it through a work week. You are now done with work for the week. Also done with work for the week, Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose had to split. You know, it's Friday night. He's got things to do. So finally, once again, I have a segment to myself. And when I have a segment to myself, you know what I like to do? Share it with the people, because I want to give the people what they want. So I'll be answering your questions on our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed and our voicemail line. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the air just like this.
Hi, Jalen Jacoby. This is Ben from North Atlanta. And my question is it a soft move or a boss move to go to the movies by yourself? Because sometimes your friends might be busy. So just want to get you that. And also, shout out to Reggie's on the 1s and 2s. And have a good day.
Here's something I want to talk about. It is not a social experience to go to a movie with somebody, especially if it's a date. I don't know why people feel uncomfortable about going to movies alone, because even if you bring company, you literally cannot and should not speak to the person the entire time that you're watching the film. I never understood this for dating. I never understood why movies became a dating experience. So it's like, all right, we're going to hang out for 3 hours tonight, get to know each other. oh, by the way, for 2 of those 3 hours, we will not be allowed to speak to each other. And then people say, well, after the movie, you get to discuss it with somebody. That's silly. Yep. Going to a movies by yourself is definitely a boss move. Yep. Now I'm going over to GLM and our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed. His question is, what do you guys think about the Warriors making LeBron so crazy he shaved his head? Jacoby even said balding people should once. You know, LeBron James had to go on the Road Tripping podcast and deny that it was the Warriors that forced him to shave his head because it was the Warriors that forced him to shave his head. It wasn't so much the Warriors, here's what really happened. He ended up watching some tape from the finals, you know, because when you're in the middle of it, you're not really concerned about your hair when you're trying to beat a super team. So now here he is, watching tape of himself in the finals, looking at the camera on his head, looking at the light shine through his hair, looking at the farce that was his hair and hairline, and he finally had the realization that he needs to cut it off. I really enjoyed the Road Tripping podcast with him on it. Let's listen to him celebrate Kevin Durant from the Road Tripping podcast.
He's a talent of his own. I mean, a guy that's damn near 7 foot, that handles the ball the way he does, the athletic ability that he has, and the shooting, the ability to shoot the ball from anywhere. He's a rare talent.
Listen, Richard Jefferson, when LeBron James is talking about Kevin Durant, just don't join in. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to learn this in the podcast game. I know you're new to the podcast game, Richard Jefferson, but you will learn eventually not to chime in. It's just weird with this, the way that LeBron has handled this loss. As I mentioned earlier, it does feel like he considers the Warriors a better team, and he's just celebrating them, and he's being very complimentary. There's nothing petty about this. He's just sort of like texting back and forth with Draymond Green, going back and forth with social media. He seems very comfortable with this loss, almost a little too comfortable for Jalen Rose, but who cares because Jalen Rose already went home for the week. Let's listen to another voicemail. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the show just like this.
Jalen and Obi-Wan Jacoby, what up, though? This is Julian from Buffalo. Just wanted to say what's up. Love what you guys do. Favorite podcast on the face of the earth. 2 questions. Jacoby, what are we going to do when the Kangaroos attack? How do we attack back, or do we just lie down and just take our beating and keep on moving on with that? Jalen, what do we do? Tell us, who was Batman, who was Robin in the Lakers' first three-peat? Shaq and Kobe. I really think Shaq was the first Batman. Kobe was Robin. I think the second championship, Shaq and Kobe were both.
Thank you so much for the call, Julian, from Buffalo.
Shout out.
I appreciate your enthusiasm. To answer your first question about the impending, inevitable kangaroo apocalypse, just lie down. You know, what we could do is, the best we can hope for is, like in Planet of the Apes, that they just sort of like allow us to exist as a species, as a secondary species, when the kangaroos eventually do take over, which is inevitable. More and more video evidence of the impending kangaroo apocalypse surfaces every single day. Remember where you heard it first. When the kangaroos finally take over, here's what Jalen and Jacoby listeners can say.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
Your second question about Batman and Robin, I'm glad Jalen isn't here, because you never know. He might not have seen Batman and Robin. He might not know who Batman and Robin are. You've listened to him explain movie plots. You know what type of movies he watches, and you know what I'm saying when I say that. There is a very good chance that he doesn't know who Batman and Robin are. And a lot of time with these duos, people are they all like, remember LeBron James and Dwayne Wade? One has to be the alpha. Whose team is this? Is this Steph Curry's team or Kevin Durant's team? Is this Dwayne Wade's team or LeBron's team? Is this Kyrie's team or is this LeBron's team? It's like, guess what? Sometimes it's just a partnership. But I will say this. I'm the Batman and Jalen is the Robin. I say that because Jalen is not listening, nor is he in the room. Let's listen to another clip from the Road Tripping podcast. Channing Frye speaking about Dirk Nowitzki.
Rookie year, coach goes, Channing, you're going to start. The next thing you know, 2005, Dirk Nowitzki. Oh, he's a problem. First a rookie who had never played a game. He goes, I got a mouse. Give me the burger. Give me the burger.
So people that don't know, Dirk likes to call people, anybody that he thinks is trash, which is like 99.9% of the people on the planet because he's Dirk Nowitzki, he calls them burgers. Yeah. Look at this burger.
He calls them burgers. What? Somewhere Shaquille O'Neal is like, he's trying to do my barbecue chicken thing. Somewhere Shaquille O'Neal is like, wait a second. This is my barbecue chicken bit, and Dirk has remixed it and gave a German spin. I love Dirk Nowitzki.
Shout out.
If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play them on the show just like this.
Jalen Jacoby, this is Zach from Cincinnati, Ohio. I just have a quick question. Since the Warriors just won the NBA championship, and that makes Steve Kerr a 7-time NBA champion, 5 as a player and 2 as a coach, does this make him a Hall of Famer? Thanks. Keep giving the people what they want.
The brief answer to that is no, because he is not a Hall of Fame player, nor is he a Hall of Fame coach. I don't think they sort of like, you can't do it on aggregate scoring, that I was a pretty good player and also a pretty good coach, so that my whole body of work is Hall of Fame worthy. But little known secret, not only did Steve Kerr win an NBA championship this year, Steve Nash won an NBA championship this year as Director of Player Development for the Golden State Warriors. Thank you so much for listening to the Jalen Jacoby podcast. We'll be back next week with Hot Fire. We have a very special episode coming next week, our draft special. Stay tuned for that. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.